Good evening, generals. From the Nile River to the sands of the Middle East, from Cairo to the old walls of Jerusalem, these fortresses, they are falling one by one against the might of the Pharaohs. Now we reached the middle lands of the Seljuks, or the Turks. We are entering the gates of Ankara. Also, the Pharaohs' defenses are fighting the rogue states, the insurgencies that are seeking for power. But our national guards, they are standing firm against them. It's taking too much time for our cities to stabilize. Our reign continues. The aggressive expansion is getting more aggressive episode by episode, focusing all of our fire against our only one enemy, the Romanian Empire, the leaderboard first place, but not anymore. Now the ancient Egypt has jumped in the first place in the leaderboard after we took the Middle East from Romania. That region is full of lands, bounties, resources, and victory points, which enabled us to get in the first place in the leaderboard, also to boost our resources production. Focus on the resources panel. You can see I have 127 units per hour electronics, which is super decent. That will help us develop a good, strong navy. But about components, I think I will need the support of cities annexation, because at some point the daily upkeep of components will rise heavily, that I will not be able to produce more cruisers. Now 3/4 of Turkey has fallen. I laid a foot in Athens, the first city in the European continent. Well, mathematically, Heraklion also European. It is in the center of the Mediterranean Sea, but it's in the European continent. Now the next target go for Constantinople, or the new name Istanbul. After it has been heavily bombarded by my cruisers, now I will break through the Bosphorus channel to get to the coastal cities of Romania. Speaking of Constanța and Bucharest. Later on, let's get to the best second bounty of the map. In this map, there are two places that are crawling with resources. The two jackpots of the map. The first one is the Middle East, the region of Syria, Iraq, and Palestine. The second region is the Balkans, the region of Macedonia, Serbia, Croatia, Romania, and all of that region there, Czech Republic, etc. That region has a lot of cities close to each other, so if you want early game expansion, fast expansion, actually you will need to have or play with a nearby nation. Speaking of, Syria might be a good potential to control over the Middle East, or Serbia, which is in the center of the Balkans, or the old Yugoslavia. Having a successful campaign with Serbia will give you a huge resources production from the beginning of the game, which will enable you to have the upper hand against your enemies. There are a lot of land targets here. In Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has been static. Looks like an inactive player. He conquered Kuwait City from the beginning of the game, but later on, no news about him. So he might be our next target for later. I don't want to leave Saudi Arabia for someone else. This is an update of the map. Algeria has conquered successfully Spain, France. Yes. United States of America has landed in the United Kingdom. Look at that. United States is here in Europe. Sweden is having huge trouble there. Oh, Poland is growing big. Poland is becoming an empire now. Yeah, he's expanding so fast through Belarus and the West. The situation with Rogue State is better now, as most of my cities in the Middle East has stabilized, but my national guards are heavily wounded because of their fights with insurgencies. Also, I have to point that my national guards are still level 1, so they are weak. The annexation that I was speaking about, I annexed the city of Limassol and also Heraklion. I needed components and supplies as well. I had been suffering with supplies from the beginning of the game. He said نعرف نتكلم عربي. أنا بفتكر أنك تكلمت أستراليا بالعربي في فيديو من فيديوهاتك. أنا ما بنسى. Okay, I will translate. I will translate. I think this is the first time you guys hear me speak in Arabic actually. Okay. So he said, I remember from one of your videos you texted Australia in Arabic. So I did not forget that, and I know that you speak Arabic, and I think that you are from Tunisia. So yeah, I am from Tunisia. The declaration of war against Saudi Arabia. It has been ages. You have been fighting Romania in 1 versus 1, but now let's open a second front. Saudi Arabia needs to be taken down fast. You know why? Because we are in a race against time versus the Asians. Not speaking about the Europeans now, I'm speaking about the Asians, as India is growing super fast. And he's getting closer and closer, conquering Pakistan, Afghanistan, and now the turn on Iran. If we let India grow big, he will be a bad news for us, because we can't match the economy of India. Starting with 8 homeland cities and conquering all of these lands will give him a huge boost of resources production that will make things complicated for us. I upgraded my National Guards to level 3. Why? Because level 3 National Guards will have the speed boost I needed for fast expansion. Also, it will have better defensive abilities against Rogue State. I suffered from the beginning of the game with Rogue State, so I don't want to do that again. The African front, we almost forgot about that. It has been ages since we spoke about this. You know, I started the war versus Kenya since I don't remember, 14 or 13. And now we are in day 25 and we are still fighting Kenya. That's the nightmare about getting inside the jungles. The rainforests. The rainforests are a nightmare for National Guards, because National Guards will get a penalty of 66% in enemy lands and another penalty in rainforest. So basically it will be moving with 0.1 speed, 0.11. Yeah, it's so slow, super slow, more than you can ever imagine. Look at India. Look at the greater India now. That's huge. China as well is a huge threat. Australia also. New Zealand. This is New Zealand that conquered Australia. Whoa. Well, now I can say that India and China are both bad news. And also our neighbor Algeria, he's grown so big. United States as well is here. I'm still the first one in the leaderboard. Algeria is second. And Poland is growing fast as well. Look at that. He conquered most of Germany. And now going down on Ukraine. Well, a lot of enemies here, okay, lads. We are surrounded by great empires. Will we have a chance fighting all of these players at once? Whoa. Thinking about it only gives me a headache. It literally gives me a headache. It makes me anxious, actually. I don't want to lose this game. Well, let's stop here, lads. We are at the end of today's episode. Let's meet in the next one with more action and excitement. Bye bye.